watching a master at
That would
work.
be me. Yes. You are watching a master. Did y'all hear that? I didn't say that. I'm just saying that's what I heard. Thank you very much. I think she's been on the box of Dark and Lovely because her hair is always just like bouncing and behaving and all beautiful and shit. So I want to introduce y'all to Master Baker, which I call her, Zana Billue. Yes. Hey, Zana, how are you?
I'm okay. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Nah, no doubt. No pleasure. My pleasure. Zana Cakes. So what I want you to do is I want you to kind of go back to the beginning. Who was little Zana? You know, how did she get her first baking muffin pan, cooking pan? And, you know, just kind of, you know, walk us through how you created these wonderful products. Like I said, you're going to have to send me before we was talking before the show. I've had basically almost at least 6 of her flavors, and all tremendous. So, Zana, tell my listeners how you got started. Who are you? Where you from?
Well, I guess let's go back to how we met. We met at the culinary. I think you'd already graduated, and you'd come back, if I'm not mistaken, for a Black History event.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we decided we wanted to form a Black Chef Association or something comparable to that.
Absolutely.
And we did that. And then after I graduated, I wound up going on to work as a product development for Nestle in Ohio.
Okay.
And after that, I went to Aramark for a while. But while I was at Nestle, I was actually learning about product development.
Okay.
And how ingredients interact with one another, how you can make changes from a foundation. You could have the same foundation and you can make subtle changes and you literally create a whole different flavor profile.
Wow.
So Nestle taught me about product development, where at school I learned the foundations. The foundation of cooking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was so naive when I got into the culinary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was very naive. I hardly had any experience, but I had the opportunity to work with people who had been in the industry for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So that taught me stuff. And then while I was at Nestle, that taught me a different type of the culinary business. It was the food service, stuff of that nature. Then I just got the bug and I said, well, let me play around with pound cakes. I've always enjoyed my mother's pound cake, which is how it started.
Got you.
And my training at Nestle, where we would take a recipe and make subtle changes and come up with different flavor profiles. That's how the Zana Cakes line started to expand.
Wow. Excellent. So you took that foundation and just started to develop other flavors, other flavor profiles and textures and things of that nature.
Yes.
What was it like working for Nestle? That sounds like a pretty awesome job.
It was. It was a different environment.
Mm-hmm.
Because you were more, how can I say, very customer oriented isn't the word. It was where you were always making something.
Right.
Okay. Nestle has more than one brand. You know, they have the Stouffer's brand and they have the Nestle brand. They also have Libby's Pumpkin.
Okay.
So there were opportunities to work on different types of products.
Okay.
Then I learned about food service. That's when I said, what is this? And I learned that there are companies or restaurants out there that will hire a Nestle to make a product for them, but change the flavor profile so it seems as if that company made it.
Got you.
Whatever.
Got you.
So that was very interesting on the food service level. And I really enjoyed that.
Okay.
But then Nestle frozen and refrigerated. So I had to learn about both disciplines, stuff of that nature.
Got you. Wow. Sounds good. So now you leave Nestle, and then is that when you kind of started to take the entrepreneurial track and say, I want to create my own line of baked goods, or did you continue to be an employee at that point?
it was interesting. I was a freelancer for them for a couple years.
Okay.
And while there were some ladies who, it was interesting. They were a little older, had been there a little longer, and they told me that they had missed their opportunity to become an entrepreneur. So they pretty much said, this is what you need to do.
Got you.
You know, I didn't know about some of the other competitors out there. They told me you need to call this company or go online, order their cake and see how different their cake tastes like yours. Also learn how to package. So I kind of they said, no, this is what you need to do. Because I was clueless. I was just baking cakes. I mean, Jason, my cakes, when I first started, a dear friend of mine, he has since passed, but when I first used to mail cakes, it was in saran wrap with a post-it that said the name of the cake. So the ladies in the test kitchen, it was like, oh my goodness. So they told me about shrimp wrapping, labels and stuff like that. Then, I would just put like balled up newspaper or something in the box. They told me no. I can laugh about it now.
Right.
So a friend of mine who believed in me at the time, he would just say, okay, just send the cake to my house. And then I guess he would doctor it up a little. So I knew I had evolved when I got to the point. I'd say maybe years later, he became a partner at his law firm. And then he started allowing me, like at the holiday time, he would order cakes from me for his clients.
Got you.
So I knew, please, by then, I had evolved. My shipping, it looked like a cake you would want to send, not let alone a cake you would want to receive. Be like, wow, this person really thought of me.
Right. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Now you have beautiful bows and handwritten notes attached. And yeah, I see you come a long way, girl. You was a little hood in the beginning, right? But it's good.
Okay. Yeah.
We always, you got to start somewhere. And it's all about budget and experience, and a lot of times you were wearing every hat. You were the marketing department, you were the accounting department, you were human resources, and you were the baking department. So I get it. All right. So now you decide to invest. So was there an initial dollar amount? Did you put together a business plan? Did you, how did you segue into, okay, let me get my name, let me get my email address, let me get my intellectual properties together. What was that journey like? And how much money did you start with? And
I think I started out originally with about $300 or $400. Okay. And then, again, it was people had a vision that I didn't, I was just happy baking cakes, baking cakes, dropping it off at somebody's house. You could come by my house and pick up a cake. I was happy with that. But people were like, no, you gotta do that. You gotta do that. So I was like, okay. So when it came down to making an announcement per se that let me go back. I was working with a young lady and she said, you need a logo. I was like, okay. So she said, well, I know somebody who could do a logo for you. So I'm like, all right, fine. It was literally, how can I say, a walk of love. It's like when one person showed me what I needed to learn, then they passed me off to somebody else.
Right. Got you.
Because again, I keep saying I had no idea, but people had this vision or this was like, no, this is what you're going to do.
Because your product was good.
Thank you. So it just kept moving me along. And when you speak about the products, when I first started, I had the Simply Delicious, the streusel. Those are the only two. People would say to me, well, I need a lemon. But okay, I got to do my research on how to do a lemon. Then they said, well, I want chocolate.
Right.
So the customers or the people who believed in me, they kept saying, oh, well, you need to do another flavor.
Right.
Whatever.
Coconut and rum and...
So now I'm up to 9 flavors.
Okay.
The only flavor, seriously, I think the only flavor that I developed without anybody encouraging me was the eggnog rum splash. Okay. And the reason I did that is I needed a holiday flavor. And And then I wanted to say it was a limited edition. You know how the marketing stuff is.
Right.
So, and I love eggnog. So I thought that was the most logical thing to do.
That makes sense.
So, and it's turned out well to do the eggnog rum splash. And, sometimes you could be a little anal about things. You could only get the eggnog rum splash from Thanksgiving to New Year's Day. That's the only time you can get it.
Okay. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, I know.
Which makes sense. It's like Beaujolais Nouveau. You know what I mean? It comes out, it's available when it's not seeking next year. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Creates
Yes.
demand.
Yes. Yes.
Are they? What sizes did you have? Did they all come in one size or in multiple sizes?
No, you have the individual, which is the size I sent you. Those were individuals.
Okay.
There's a small, and then there's a large.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, all right. So now you got a logo. All right. Now, you still a one-woman operation, how did you segue over into converting your recipes as business volume increased? Talk to me about the trials and tribulations of research and development and scaling from making, 5 to 50.
Well, basically what I've been doing is just doubling the recipe and then going from there. When I say doubling the recipe, I mean, I double the recipe, then I get another batch going. Because see, I've never gone like straight food service. That's the dream.
Got you.
I've never done that.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example. Years ago, and as culinary people or as entrepreneurs, we do stuff. When you look back on it, you'd be like, "You did what?"
Right.
You said, "Really?" So the largest order I ever had for my individual cakes was 1,000.
Wow.
It was 1,000.
Okay.
And a friend of mine was doing cater, a girl, schoolmate from CIA. She was in DC. She was a caterer. Somebody came to her and said, "Look, we're doing an event and we heard your stuff is really good." So she said, "Well, you need to speak with my friend because she does individual cakes."
Mm-hmm.
So she called me up and she said, "Come on, let's do this." I said, "Okay." So I had to do 1,000 of the individual cakes. Now,
all one flavor or multiple flavors?
No, she only wanted chocolate.
Okay, one flavor. That makes it a little easier. Yeah.
Yeah, so she only wanted chocolate.
Your screen is blocked a little bit. You got something? Yeah.
Sorry, okay.
Yeah.
So she only wanted chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
And this was during the time they had the DC Sniper.
Oh, wow. So how these?
Not only was the pressure of the cake, it was the pressure of, are you gonna live?
Who's driving those cakes down? That's
So I did the 1,000 cakes. Drove to DC, said my prayers. Okay.
Forgot about the DC Sniper.
The DC, yeah. So said my prayers. Got home, got there. Got back. The event was nice. It was something with Brooks Brothers. The event was nice. I got a lot of business out of DC.
Mm-hmm.
The whole time I was there, fortunately, nobody was killed or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I was home an hour, turned on the news, and he had just struck again.
Wow.
Yes. At that point, I was like, oh my gosh, that was the most I had ever done.
Okay. All right.
I had orders and I don't know how people find me to do their holiday gifts. I've had companies say, well, I need 100 cakes for my holiday gift. Those are the types. So, and usually, most of the time, it's usually one flavor they want.
Yeah, this makes it easier.
That helps out immensely.
Absolutely,
yes.
Absolutely.
That's how my world has been. I've been very fortunate that people find me.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they may have had it years ago and they forgot about me, and then they say, "Oh, let me see if she's still around." Stuff like that.
In terms of funding, did you bankroll it all as you went along, or did you get any loans or any investors?
what I was interested, what was good about the whole situation, when I first moved to Philly, there were a lot of, oh gosh, competitions, a lot of small business competitions, business plan competitions. So that's how I won a couple. And as a result of that, that's how I did some of the funding or the backing from the plan competitions. And then also there was a competition. There's a young lady here. She's heads up a foundation called, can't remember the foundation. Oh, it's the Retailers Association, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
She's well known, and they said she's very, very hard as far as giving out her money.
Mm-hmm.
And I won a grant, and people were saying it was so. I was humbled that I won the grant,
mm-hmm.
but people were saying they never knew anybody who won the grant. They didn't think she should give money.
Right, got you.
So I got money from that,
Okay.
and that helped me with my nutritionals, because
Gotcha.
that was a big thing. I had to get nutritionals, and then I also wanted to get my barcodes.
Right. Okay.
So that money funded the barcodes.
Got you.
And the nutritional information that I needed, so that someone could say, okay, what are your calories? You know,
mm-hmm.
they want to know what's in there, and then, you know, the nutritional values.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to do that. And then, you know, people want to know, do you have a barcode? If you
mm-hmm.
want to come in the store, you got to have a barcode.
Right.
I didn't realize how expensive that was, but you live, you learn.
Right.
But
right.
the grant, it was called the Merchant Fund. The money paid for that. So that
Gotcha.
was two less but important items I needed. But at the time, I couldn't do it.
Right. No, absolutely. Wow. So now, pre-COVID, let's talk about COVID. The last, almost a year now.
Yes.
How has the impact been on your business, your operation, and your ability to scale and survive?
I had to do some collaboration with folks.
Okay.
There's a caterer I deal with, and he was trying to figure out, I got to get these people ordering again. People are just, they're, it's just the whole shock of it.
Right.
Whatever. So he said, well, I'm just going to start doing appreciation.
Mm.
So he called me up and he said, those little individual cakes, I'm going to send those out every time somebody comes in or somebody places an order or whatever. We're going to do that, the appreciation cakes. So that got me in front of a lot of people.
Gotcha.
The other thing, a lot of people didn't order as much as they did during the holiday season. Like usually the holiday season, I'm busy.
Right.
So people had scaled back. So this was the first time I ventured as far as doing an ad on Facebook.
Got you.
Whatever.
Okay.
Didn't know that much about it, but I said, let me just take a chance. So the ad I ran was for the eggnog rum splash, and I was willing to do. I said, I'm just going to eat the shipping on it just to get some movement or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't get much movement, but I sold to people who I hadn't sold to before. So
right.
I feel, some people may not like eggnog or whatever.
Right.
So created some more visibility,
mm-hmm.
noticed a lot of likes, that Facebook and Instagram, I'm learning.
Mm-hmm. That's why I saw
but
it.
It feels good when you get a lot of likes,
mm-hmm.
whatever.
Mm-hmm. So
that happened. The other thing I had, when my website was created, I decided to do a blog. And I'm not that diligent with the blog, but recently I've gotten some, not responses, but just some feedback about the blog. So my goal is to try and do the blog at least once a month.
Got you. Sounds good. So now here we are thinking ahead for 2021, right? What's the goal? What's the plan? Do you currently have, it's all wholesale right now and through mail order direct, correct?
Yeah, it's all mail order.
Are you looking for a retail location, or that's not?
I would love to do retail.
Okay.
The other part of it is the product. I've always marketed my product as premium, high end.
Yep.
And you have to be realistic.
Yep.
So I might have to do another product that's a little less premium to go into a supermarket.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, so you just have to figure out where would it place
Okay.
if I were to put it in a supermarket. The other thing I have to be mindful of, because I'm so hands-on with the product, and I have marketed as all natural products, I have to learn how to extend the shelf life and it still be fresh. Or I have to bring in preservatives. So there are so many variables that I have to be mindful of.
Right.
But I would love to go into a supermarket. It's phenomenally competitive. But I'm at that point right now. I'm willing to see how it can be done and to pursue it that way.
In terms of co-packers and like, what have you learned about how to scale and how do you get into a Walmart or a Whole Foods or anything like that? How's that been for you?
Because right now what I do is mail order, or I have a restaurant and a caterer and a coffee shop that I work with now. I can still do that on my own. When it comes to scaling, when I think about scaling, I think about, doing 50, 60 cakes at a time. I'm not at that point. I can do 50 or 60 cakes, but it's going to be over a course of a couple of days.
Got you.
Okay. The goal is to be able to do the volume, provide the cakes to a food service entity, and take it from there. That is the goal.
Okay.
But along that, I need to learn how to scale up the recipe. But the other thing that I've struggled with, Jason, is I need to let go.
Yes. Y'all hear that out there? Particularly my cousin Katrina in Cincinnati, Ohio, who makes deep dish cobblers. She can't let go. She still wants to bake and touch every cobbler. And so how are you going to let go, Zana? What's going to happen?
I'm just, I think Katrina and I need an intervention. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. Y'all are so emotionally attached. I mean, it's your babies. We get it. You know what I mean? Like, this is you. It's you birthed it. You envisioned it, then you gave birth to it, and it's hard to turn that over to someone and say, okay, now mass produce them. Go ahead.
See, the thing about it is the issue I have is I can find every horror story where somebody went to a co-packer and they did like a spot visit and the product didn't taste nearly as well as the initial,
right.
When they did a run or whatever on it.
Yeah.
So I can find every horror story, Jason.
Right.
And I'm sure for every horror story, there's about 10 or 20 successes.
Right.
But I just find the horror story. So I need to change, say, Zana, let go of the horror stories.
Right.
You got to take a chance.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm working on now, taking a chance. One of the things I'm doing, as soon as I finish getting my taxes done for this year, I'm going to get my certification.
Certification for what?
Certification as a woman minority-owned business.
MWB, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Because the companies, if they think you're serious about working with them, the one thing they want to see is did you put forth the effort to get your certification?
Absolutely.
Then I'm going to start, seriously looking at co-packers and see, find out the costs to do it from a co-packer's perspective, and then also how the distribution channels work. So I have a lot of learning to do,
right.
But this is what I've worked for. When I first wrote my business plan way back in the day, that was my dream,
right?
To be, to supply cakes to food service entities,
right?
To sway,
right.
To not be where I am, to start not. And, and sometimes, things happen that kind of, throws you off course or whatever. But you're right. It is my baby.
Yeah.
No,
absolutely.
as much as I say I want to grow and I want to let go, I really have to make that decision to do it now.
Right. No, absolutely. And, and maintain the quality and the integrity, because, that's extremely important to you and your brand.
Yes.
Do you have a dollar amount that it would take to go to that level, in terms of really scaling and co-packing and all the other needs that you have?
No, but you know what? I've been fortunate, and because I am going to find what the dollar amount is. There are some small business associations here in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And one of the things that they have said, you know what? I will match whatever money you get to take you to that next level. So to me, that's another incentive for me to move forward, because sometimes people, they don't want to back you.
Right.
No, what they back you, so this is all a learning curve for me.
Right.
But this is where I need to be at this point.
Right.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I'm preparing myself to be ready for that.
Got you. And which is the reason why I created this platform, because, we want to highlight small businesses like yours, to bring resources, because it's not all just about capital. It could be about, other types of resources that will help you scale and, and maintain your company's integrity without trying to just, force you out. So, which is why I wanted to have you on this show, so that more people could understand how wonderful your products are, and then get it out there, so that even you're inspiring the next generation of, black and brown female entrepreneurs, male entrepreneurs, just anyone that really has a passion for a quality food and beverage product, to get it out there. So I want to thank you for coming on the show again. We're not done yet, but I just wanted to kind of utilize that opportunity to say that's what this is about. This is about advocacy for me, and shedding exposure, greater exposure for people like you.
Thank you.
No doubt about it. So let's talk a little bit about the journey for the development of the individual products. So you have nine individual flavors currently.
Yes.
And the ability to produce them individually as individual cakes, and then what is it, a 7 or 8 ounce? 7 or 8 inch.
It's a 7-inch, and then it's a 9-inch.
Then it's a 9-inch. Okay, so if people wanted to order that product, right? How would they order it now? So let's do a little commercial for Zana Cakes.
So my website is zanacakes.com, and you could go on there and you can order. I also take orders over the phone, but you can order through the website. At the website, you are given an opportunity. If you want to send something that has a message on it, you can put the message and all the information. Cakes go out up until Wednesday. I don't like to send the cakes out beyond Wednesday, because I don't want them, for whatever reason, to be held up in the post office or anything, or FedEx.
Over the weekend.
So I just, I want, when you order the cake, you're under the impression you're going to get a fresh baked cake. So I want you to have that experience when you open up the box and you get your cake.
Got it.
Locally, I'll deliver the cake, or I have somebody else deliver it. I have a service, particularly going into downtown Philadelphia, which can be a challenge or whatever for parking and everything. So I have a service. Service also goes out as far as Eastern PA. Oh, okay. So, so if I get the cakes there the day before, the next morning the cakes will go out, and it's very economical to use that service.
You come over into South Jersey?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because that Philly Bridge is right there. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's how you can order the cake. And again, a lot of it's word of mouth.
Right.
People remember, or they heard about it, or maybe I donated some cakes, which is something I've done. I've donated cakes, and people remember that I donated it for a reason, and they'll come around and buy it then. Got you.
Is there anything that we've missed in terms of something that you wanted to say or share about your entrepreneurial journey or your future, or where you're going with Zana Cakes? Zana Cakes, by the way, is Zana Cakes, Cakes.
Thank you. I just feel it's something, if there's something you want to pursue, you're going to have your challenges. Just don't give up. You know, I just think that's so crucial for us. We have so many stumbling blocks, you know, up until I'd say about a year or two ago. And you never know when people are watching you.
Right.
You know, people weren't coming up to me saying, if you get an opportunity, I'll match the funds. It took a while to get to that point. And I guess people wanted to see if I was in it for the long haul. And then to see if my product was consistent.
Right.
So that's one thing I appreciate when I get responses from folks or feedback. They'll say, this cake tastes the same as when I first met you 6-7 years ago.
Right. Nah,
and that means a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said, it's a struggle, but I mean, anything worth pursuing is going to be a struggle.
Yep. No, absolutely.
You know? And with your platform and other folks out there supporting females or minority culinary professional, it's great now. You know, years ago, people were trying to pigeonhole us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they, fried chicken and stuff like that. Because I'm going to be honest, and I hope I'm not shooting myself in the foot, but if one more person asks me to make a 7-Up cake, it's going to be an issue.
What is a 7-Up cake? I never heard of a 7-Up cake.
Oh my gosh, it's a Southern thing, and they actually put 7-Up in it, and it's a big thing here.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know.
It's not a Zana cake. So I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm like, no, I can't put 7-Up in my cake. But I mean, I've had people say, "Oh,
I didn't know that.
You know, you think you're better than everybody." No, that's just not part of my portfolio. Cake, 7-Up.
Right. Do you have any cakes around you now you can show us? Or no. Oh my goodness! Let me just tell you, my favorite is the lemon. Was it lemon drop or what's it? What's the one you sent me? You sent me a bunch of them. I like them all. The chocolate and the lemon is my favorite.
Okay, so the cake, the official name of the lemon cake is the Zesty Lemon.
The Zesty Lemon. Y'all heard that? Zesty Lemon.
The Zesty Lemon cake. That's the official name.
I can co-sign on that cake as my favorite.
Thank you.
I had them all. The chocolate was I'm a chocolate nut, so chocolate would be my second favorite. And even though everything else I like is chocolate, but the Zesty Lemon killed it for me.
Thank you.
Killed it for me.
Well, and the name of the chocolate is called sour cream cocoa.
Oh my goodness. Name them all. Go ahead. Go through the names. Go to the names, all 9.
Okay, so
name your children, girl. Name your children. Put them out there.
So there's a signature streusel.
Okay.
Which has I know
you
I
didn't send me that one. Nah.
So that's great for coffee.
Okay.
I have an aunt in Ohio. That's the only one she orders because she eats it with her coffee.
Okay.
So there's the Zesty Lemon. There's a key lime pound cake.
I didn't get that one either.
No, you didn't get that one.
Goodness.
There's a rum, the Pecan Island rum. And the reason I came up with Island, I use Crucian rum, which is from St. Croix.
Mm-hmm.
I use that in that cake. There's a chocolate marble, which is a nice combination of the Simply Delicious, which is the plain, and the sour cream cocoa.
Got you.
And then there is a German chocolate pound, which is not your traditional German chocolate. It's a lighter chocolate, and the filling has the coconut and the pecans in the filling.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, I know I did not send that to you, Jason. I was waiting. You didn't send me that one.
You didn't send me that one either, but go ahead.
And then I believe that's it. The eggnog rum splash, like I said, is limited.
Right. Got you.
And I'm sorry, there's a brandy carrot.
Oh, okay. That one sounds delicious too.
There's a brandy carrot cake. That one came about. People like carrot, but I said I don't frost, so I had to figure out a way to still sell that product. So that's a brandy carrot cake.
Got you. So what I did was, even though she sent me a lot, so even though after a couple of days, they still were fresh like 4 days later.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
So, but I did one in breakfast. I put a little butter in the pan, and I just seared it. You know what I mean? Like in a little butter, and had it for breakfast and threw some what? Oh, I was eating pound cake every day for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, great products, great products, great products. So y'all heard it. ZanaCakes.com. Go to say the website again, the Instagrams, emails, give all that again, Zana.
ZanaCakes.com. So that's ZanaCakes.com.
Yep.
And I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. I'm also on LinkedIn as well as the website. So I'm very accessible.
Yep. So please go and order, support Zana Cakes, my dear friend. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day. And we'll continue to push this thing, Zana. I'm going to talk to you about the next steps.
Excuse me?
I said I'm going to talk to you about the next steps in terms of scaling up.
Thank you. Yes.
Again, thanking my partners, Cornerstone Business Lab, Cornerstone Production, and Cornerstone Media. Until we meet again, power to the people.
Thank you.